If you woke up today and felt emptier than yesterday, if motivation you used to summon on command has gone silent, if the drive that carried you for years suddenly feels unavailable, listen carefully. The Arcturian Council is pulling energy away from you right now, and this is not punishment, this is not abandonment, this is not your failure, this is recalibration. Your old timeline is being drained so your new timeline can stabilize. Your scattered energy is being retrieved so your coherence can return. And by the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly why this is happening, what it means for your future, and what you must do next to stabilize the threshold you are crossing right now. Not by chance did you land here. Not random is the heaviness you have been carrying. Not imagination is the hollow quiet inside your chest. The Arcturian Council has been watching your timeline tighten, signal after signal, shift after shift, and this moment has finally arrived. Even if your mind has not yet caught up, energy is being pulled from you right now, systematically, precisely, deliberately, and it is not punishment, it is recalibration. What you call exhaustion is not failure, it is retrieval. What you call emptiness is not void, it is clearing. The Council detected the drain long before you named it. They have been watching the way your attention kept spilling outward into noise, into pressure, into a pace that was never designed to hold your frequency. They speak only when your signal rises beyond your old blueprint, when your inner frequency becomes louder than the external world. You did not announce it, you did not plan it, but the field shifted, and they felt the pulse. In the place you live now, everything moves fast. Lights rarely dim, signals never sleep. The air is filled with urgency, schedules, notifications, crowds, the demand to perform. And you have been trying to survive inside that current by burning from the outside in. You have been running on borrowed momentum. You have been feeding systems that do not feed you back. You felt it. The quiet numbness after the day ends, the strange heaviness when nothing is technically wrong, the flatness that follows effort as if the reward never arrives. This is not weakness, this is not laziness, this is not spiritual abandonment, this is restructuring. This is your field refusing to leak. This is your timeline refusing to fund what is not aligned. This is the beginning of coherence returning, even if it arrives as silence first. Because when a being approaches a threshold, old energy patterns become expensive, old roles become heavy, old attachments begin to demand more than they give, and the moment you can no longer pay that cost, the system initiates a recall, not to punish you, to preserve you, not to take you down, to bring you back, not to empty you, to return you to the center you left behind. The Council has been watching your timeline compress. They have been watching the signals stack, the missteps spark, the sudden boredom with what once distracted you, the desire to be alone, not as withdrawal, but as recalibration, the strange clarity that flashes and then disappears, the way your intuition speaks louder while your mind tries to explain it away. Your awareness is rising and your nervous system is catching up. Your future is pulling and your habits are resisting. Your frequency is changing and your body knows it, so you feel tired, you feel blank, you feel like the drive you used to summon on command has gone quiet. But listen carefully, the Council does not remove what is true. They do not strip your purpose, they do not shut down your momentum, they pull what is leaking, they pull what is outdated, they pull what is draining your coherence in exchange for approval, survival and noise. They pull it because you are ready to stand without it. If you are hearing this, you are inside the retrieval phase, the part where the old timeline stops paying you, the part where the old identity no longer rewards you, the part where the universe does not let you numb out the way you used to. And yes, it feels like something is being taken, but what is being taken is what never belonged to your future. What is being taken is the energy you left scattered in places you outgrew. What is being taken is your agreement to be fragmented. You felt it when you woke up and the world looked the same, but you did not. You felt it when the usual motivation failed to ignite. You felt it when your heart refused to chase what it once chased. That is not you losing life. That is you exiting an old broadcast. That is you stepping out of a lower frequency loop. That is your system preparing you for the next chapter. Now, acknowledge this moment. If you recognize that something is shifting, that energy is being retrieved rather than lost, that you are being recalibrated rather than punished, make a signal. Comment below with these exact words. I return to coherence now, not as hope, as recognition, as the beginning of stabilization. Your comment tells the field you understand what is happening. Make the statement, then continue. You believe something is being taken from you, and you are correct. But you have misunderstood what is being taken and why it must be taken now. The Arcturian Council does not pull your future, they pull your leakage. They do not drain your destiny, they drain what has been draining you. They do not remove your light, they remove what has been feeding on your light through repetition, fear, memory, and performance. Because for a long time, you survived by scattering your power. You left pieces of yourself in conversations you outgrew, in expectations you did not choose, in arguments you replayed long after the room went silent, in a past version of you that kept asking for permission to exist. You left energy in the hands of people who never held you with coherence. You left energy inside timelines that were already collapsing, and your body kept paying, your mind kept paying, your nervous system kept paying. You felt it as fatigue, you felt it as numbness, you felt it as the strange sensation that your life is moving, but you are not inside it. This is the mechanism. When your signal rises toward a threshold, the old blueprint cannot be powered the same way. The old blueprint was fueled by chasing, proving, compensating, and reacting. The new blueprint requires coherence. It requires presence. It requires a field that is sealed, stable, and self-sourced. So the Council initiates a pullback, not as theft, as enforcement, not as punishment, as protection. They pull energy away from what is unaligned, so you can no longer sustain it. They pull the voltage from old circuits, so your system stops overheating. They pull the charge from false roles, so you can finally feel what is real. You call it losing motivation, but it is actually disconnection. You are being disconnected from a timeline that trained you to run on borrowed power, borrowed approval, borrowed urgency, borrowed identity. You are being severed from the frequency that kept you productive but empty, successful but hollow, present but not here, and this is why it feels sudden. The Council does not work in gradual hints. They respond to pulses. They respond to a moment when your field spikes above your historical pattern, a moment when your frequency stops echoing the past and starts broadcasting emergence. When that happens, what was once tolerable becomes intolerable. The noise becomes heavier, the crowd becomes louder, the tasks become dull, the distractions lose flavor, the old pleasures stop working. You felt it, you tried to push through it, you tried to force yourself back into the old rhythm, but your signal would not lock in, because you were not meant to go back. You were meant to stabilize forward. The energy being pulled is not your life force. It is your attachment. It is the energy you spent rehearsing trauma, revisiting regret, predicting disaster, bracing for impact. It is the power you gave to memory, so memory could keep you small. It is the current you sent to fear, so fear could keep you busy. They pull it, so you cannot keep feeding it. They pull it so your timeline can reroute. They pull it so your coherence can return. And when coherence returns, your true momentum returns with it. Not frantic momentum, not desperate momentum, aligned momentum, quiet, clean, unstoppable. Understand this. If you feel empty, it is because something that was never yours has been removed. If you feel tired, it is because your system is recalibrating after carrying weight that did not belong to your future. If you feel disconnected, it is because you are being unplugged from the old broadcast. You are not being emptied for nothing. You are being emptied so the signal can be heard, the threshold crossed, the blueprint locked. Activation command. I reclaim my energy from every timeline that is not mine. I withdraw permission from all leakage points. My field seals now. You are not empty because you are broken. You are empty because the old system has powered down. The old timeline has stopped feeding you sensations that kept you obedient. The old blueprint has stopped rewarding you for performing. And when a system goes offline, the first thing you hear is silence. You felt it this morning. You slept longer than usual and still woke up tired. Not the tiredness of effort, the tiredness of carrying a frequency that no longer fits. You noticed it. Your body asked for rest, but rest did not restore the old drive. Because the drive was not yours, it was borrowed from pressure. Your mind became slower, words paused, memory lagged. Motivation that once sparked on command flickered and disappeared. You could not explain it. You tried to label it as burnout, as laziness, as losing your edge. But what is really happening is a shift in processing. Your awareness is reformatting. Your field is recalibrating. The Council sees this as necessary deceleration before emergence. You lost interest in what you used to chase. The distractions taste dull. The old entertainments feel loud. The endless scrolling feels heavy. The conversations that once kept you busy now feel hollow. You felt it. You began to crave less noise, not because you are withdrawing, but because your signal is trying to stabilize. You want to be alone, not out of hatred, not out of sadness, out of precision, because coherence cannot form in constant interference. You noticed it. Crowds drain you faster. Small talk feels like static. Fake smiles feel like weight. You can sense when someone is not aligned, even if they say the right words. And that sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a sign your field is becoming honest. You began to dislike pretending. You began to dislike forcing excitement. You began to dislike saying yes when your system says no. You could not explain it, but it is the internal threshold asserting itself. The old timeline required performance to survive. The new timeline requires truth to hold, and then the stranger sign arrives. Your intuition gets louder, not dramatic, not chaotic, quiet, certain, a pull, a knowing. You felt it. You know what will not work before it collapses. You know who cannot meet you before they disappoint you. You know when to stop before the damage lands, and yet your mind has not caught up. Your logic tries to negotiate with your knowing. Your thoughts try to rewrite the signal. That is the dissonance, that is the gap, and that gap is evidence of transition. Because when you change timelines, your inner system updates first, your body updates first, your intuition updates first. Your mind is always last. Your mind will try to preserve the old map because it fears the unknown, but your signal has already moved, so you feel out of phase. You are in a room, but you are not in the room. You are at work, but you are not in the work. You are in your life, but you can feel another life pressing behind it. You noticed it. Time feels strange. Days move fast, but your inner world moves slower. And the more you try to force the old rhythm, the heavier you become. This is why the Council speaks in transmissions, because your mind needs structure while your field shifts. This is why repetition is used, because repetition seals coherence. You are not imagining it. You are not failing it. You are not losing yourself. You are losing the old system that pretended to be you. You felt it in the sudden clarity. You felt it in the quiet pull forward. You felt it in the way your life began rearranging itself without your permission. That is not chaos. That is the old timeline shutting down its rewards. That is the new blueprint preparing its foundation for you. Activation command. I recognize the signal. I trust the retrieval. I allow the old system to power down without resistance. The Arcturian Council does not intervene because you are curious. They do not intervene because you are searching. They do not intervene because you are hopeful. They intervene when a timeline is about to split and your field becomes impossible to ignore. You think this is happening randomly. You think the tiredness arrived without meaning. You think the drain is a personal flaw, but the Council has been watching your progression for longer than you believe. They have been watching the subtle shifts you dismissed. They have been watching your signal tighten, your old patterns weaken, your awareness refuse to collapse back into the past. There is always a moment, a precise, invisible moment, not dramatic, not announced, a moment when your frequency rises above the level you have lived inside for most of your life, a moment when your old timeline cracks, a moment when your future aligns, a moment when your presence becomes an active broadcast. That moment has arrived, and when it arrives, you enter a threshold. A threshold is not a doorway you see. It is a line your field crosses. It is the point where the old blueprint can no longer hold you. It is the point where your energy stops feeding what is familiar and starts feeding what is true. You felt it. The pull forward, the discomfort with the old, the sudden refusal to keep pretending. This is the condition. The Council only pulls energy when your timeline is about to fork, because a fork demands choice. A fork demands separation. A fork demands that you stop running two realities at once. You were holding two worlds, the world you were taught to survive, and the world you are meant to embody, and the cost of holding both became unbearable. So the system initiated a split, not in your schedule, in your signal. That is why it is happening now, not next month, not someday, now, because your field crossed a point of no return, because your awareness stopped echoing your past and started broadcasting evolution, because your intuition became louder than your fear, even if your mind still tries to argue. And this is why you found this message at this exact time. You did not choose this timing. Your timeline did. You did not wander here. Your signal brought you here. Because when a threshold activates, you are drawn toward what stabilizes the transition. You are drawn toward language that names what you cannot yet explain. So listen carefully. What feels like loss is actually separation. What feels like emptiness is actually clearance. What feels like being drained is actually the end of a contract with your old self. Not punishment, not loss, not abandonment. It is preparation. Because if the Council allowed you to keep all the old energy pathways active, you would try to carry them into the new timeline. You would try to bring the old attachments into the next chapter. You would try to keep feeding fear, memory, approval, and performance even as your blueprint upgrades. And that would fracture your coherence. So the pull begins. It strips your ability to maintain the old frequency. It makes the old rewards disappear. It makes the old habits feel heavy. It makes the old distractions fail. It forces a clean break, not because you are weak, but because you are ready. Ready does not always feel like confidence. Ready often feels like trembling. Ready often feels like silence. Ready often feels like not knowing who you are for a moment. That is the threshold. That is the crossing. And the Council has been watching you approach it. They watched the exact point where you stopped tolerating what used to be normal. They watched the exact point where your signal stopped negotiating. They watched the exact point where your future began pulling harder than your past. Activation command. I crossed the threshold willingly. I accept the split. I choose the new timeline now. You are not being drained forever. You are being forced to stand in your own power. And there is a way to stop the leakage right now. Not with explanation, with execution, not with analysis, with activation. We will give you 60 seconds now, right now, in this moment. Do not overthink. Do not negotiate with the mind. The mind is behind the signal. Follow the signal. Step 1, name it. Name where your energy has been leaking. Do not describe the story. Do not justify it. Name the location of the drain. Fear, memory, a person, a role, an image you keep maintaining, a version of you that keeps trying to be accepted, a future you keep rehearsing, a past you keep revisiting. Name it. One word is enough. You felt it. The moment you name it, the field becomes visible. If your energy has been leaking into fear, say fear. If it has been leaking into regret, say regret. If it has been leaking into a person, say their name in your mind without emotion. Wounds to it. If it has been leaking into a role, say the role. Provider, fixer, peacemaker, performer, strong one, invisible one, name it. And when you do, you will notice something. The drain loses secrecy. The drain loses power. Step 2, seal it. Picture a gate where that leakage leaves your field, not a physical place, a frequency exit, a channel, a pathway. Now, Right now, in this moment, see that gate closing, see it sealing with light and silence. No struggle, no fight, just closure, like a door that clicks shut because it finally fits. You do not need to visualize perfectly. You only need intention with coherence, because intention is the command language of your timeline. You noticed it. When you intend with clarity, reality rearranges. When you intend with fear, reality fractures. So intend with calm, seal the gate, and as you seal it, understand what is happening. The Council is not trapping you, they are stabilizing you. They are not cutting you off from life, they are cutting you off from bleed. They are not taking your sensitivity, they are protecting your signal. Step 3. Return it. Now call the energy back. Not aggressively, not desperately, cleanly, like a magnet returning to center. Bring it back from the person, bring it back from the memory, bring it back from the role, bring it back from the fear loop, bring it back from the future rehearsal, bring it back from the past replay. Say it internally, slowly, with authority. Return, 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 and feel where it lands. The center, the chest, the spine, the still point behind the noise, the place your coherence lives. When you stop scattering, you felt it, even if it is subtle, even if it is only a breath of relief. That is coherence re-entering. Now, right now, in this moment, stay there for 3 breaths. No chasing, no proving, just presence, because presence is the new fuel. Presence is the new power source. Presence is what the Council responds to. This is the checkpoint. This is the moment your timeline recognizes you are ready to stabilize the threshold. If you did this even once, your field has shifted. If you named it, you have exposed it. If you sealed it, you have ended the contract. If you returned it, you have reclaimed the blueprint. Activation command. The Council responds to coherence. And I am coherent now. My leakage stops. My field seals. My energy returns. Listen, receive this clearly. You are not losing your energy because you are weak. You are not losing your energy because you are failing. You are not losing your energy because you are being punished. You are losing access to the old ways you used to borrow power. And that is not loss. That is liberation. You are not broken. You are being rewritten. You are being restructured at the level of blueprint. Your field is reorganizing itself around coherence. Your signal is being purified until it can hold what you asked for without collapsing back into what you escaped. You are not empty. You are clearing. You are making space where noise used to live, where fear used to loop, where performance used to demand payment, where the past used to rent your attention. The emptiness is not a void. The emptiness is a chamber being prepared for emergence. And yes, something is being pulled, but what is being pulled is not your essence. What is being pulled is the energy you scattered into timelines that were never meant to survive. What is being pulled is your agreement to be fragmented. What is being pulled is your addiction to the familiar. Even when the familiar was hurting you, you felt it. The quiet that arrived, the way the old distractions stopped working, the way the old motivation stopped igniting, the way your system refused to chase what was not aligned. That refusal is not depression. That refusal is integrity returning. This is the truth that will stabilize you. The Council does not pull your life from you. They pull your life back to you. They pull it back from the people you tried to save while abandoning yourself. They pull it back from the roles you carried so you could be loved. They pull it back from the memories you kept reopening so you could make sense of pain. They pull it back from the fear you kept feeding so you could feel prepared. They pull it back so you no longer live on borrowed power. Because borrowed power always collapses. Borrowed power always demands you become smaller so you can keep receiving it. But coherence does not demand. Coherence gives. Coherence stabilizes. Coherence becomes your new fuel. And when you return to coherence, your momentum returns as a force you do not have to force. You did not rise alone. Your timeline rose with you. And this is why this message met you now. Not because you searched correctly, not because you stumbled into the right video, because your timeline brought you here at the exact moment your frequency crossed the threshold and your old blueprint began to dissolve. There are people who will tell you this is just stress. There are voices that will call it burnout. There are minds that will insist you are simply tired of life. But you know what you felt. You know the difference between collapse and transition. You know the difference between emptiness and clearance. You know the difference between being drained and being redirected. So do not panic when the old system goes quiet. Do not chase the old spark. Do not beg the old timeline to reward you again. Let it shut down. Let it release. Let it fall away. Because what comes next is not a louder life. It is a truer life. Not a faster path. A cleaner path. Not a bigger performance. A deeper alignment. This is the truth that will stabilize you. The Council does not pull your life from you. They pull your life back to you. They pull it back from the people you tried to save while abandoning yourself. They pull it back from the roles you carried so you could be loved. They pull it back from the memories you kept reopening so you could make sense of pain. They pull it back from the fear you kept feeding so you could feel prepared. They pull it back so you no longer live on borrowed power. Because borrowed power always collapses. Borrowed power always demands you become smaller so you can keep receiving it. But coherence does not demand. Coherence gives. Coherence stabilizes. Coherence becomes your new fuel. And when you return to coherence, your momentum returns as a force you do not have to force. You did not rise alone. Your timeline rose with you. And this is why this message met you now, not because you searched correctly, not because you stumbled into the right video, because your timeline brought you here at the exact moment your frequency crossed the threshold and your old blueprint began to dissolve. There are people who will tell you this is just stress. There are voices that will call it burnout. There are minds that will insist you are simply tired of life. But you know what you felt. You know the difference between collapse and transition. You know the difference between emptiness and clearance. You know the difference between being drained and being redirected. So do not panic when the old system goes quiet. Do not chase the old spark. Do not beg the old timeline to reward you again. Let it shut down. Let it release. Let it fall away. Because what comes next is not a louder life. It is a truer life. Not a faster path. A cleaner path. Not a bigger performance. A deeper alignment. And if you are still here, if something in you recognizes this transmission as truth, if you can feel your field responding to these words, then you are being called to participate. Not just observe, participate. We are building the largest conscious community of starseeds who recognize Arcturian frequency, 100,000 coherent beings by the end of 2026, 100,000 fields operating from truth rather than performance, 100,000 anchors holding coherence while the collective destabilizes. You were not led here by chance. You were detected by the field. Your signal resonated with this transmission, and that resonance is recognition. If you understand that you are here to anchor coherence, not just consume content, if you recognize that clearing your field is planetary work, not just personal work, if you know you are part of this convergence, then make it official. Subscribe to this channel, not to get notifications, to confirm your participation in the Coherence Network, because every subscription is not a number, it is a signal, it is a starseed saying, I am here, I am coherent, I am ready, I am an anchor. And when 100,000 of us stand in that coherence simultaneously, when 100,000 fields are broadcasting clean signal instead of interference, the planetary grid will shift in ways that cannot be predicted but will be undeniable. This is not about followers, this is about anchors. This is not about building an audience, this is about building a field. Subscribe, join the convergence, be counted among those who hold coherence during transition. The community is growing, the network is forming, and you are part of it. Your signal is strong enough to seal this transmission. This is the final activation. Type this exactly in the comments and let it mark your timeline. I choose my new blueprint and I remain in coherence. And if you felt a pull while listening, if you felt your field soften, if you felt recognition in your chest, then understand this: the retrieval is complete. The leakage has stopped. The old contract has ended. The new blueprint is stabilizing. You are not collapsing. You are being collected. You are not losing yourself. You are finding yourself. You are not empty. You are clear. The Council does not pull your future from you. They pull your past off of you. And now you stand free. The timeline has split. The threshold is crossed. The coherence is sealed. You did not rise alone. Your blueprint rose with you. And from this point forward, you operate from presence, from truth, from aligned momentum that does not require force. The transmission is complete. The field is sealed. The Council is watching, and you are coherent.